Kibaku.
Yeah. Maha-chela.
So you were saying that the Father and the Son is not about religion necessarily. Can you elaborate on that?
What Father and Son are about religion?
Jesus and God, you know.
That's a story we've heard. That's a story about life and death, but not about religion necessarily. And whether or not religious ideation and questions arise because of it, it's not about religion. It's about life and death. It's about dying and living. And what dying and living is about. And then for who? As we're certainly not one story. Life is not about one story. Spirit is not about one story. It's not even about time. It's not even about people. Spirit is not a body. It's not a person. Spirit's about light. Who's about light?
On that subject, how do we become more light?
Everyone is already the light of light. And that's what sustains existence or life itself. Who and what is the light is a good question. We are that. And it's not a who. It's more a question of who isn't light. Some will say light is sound. Sound is light. Some will say light is death. absence. Absence of darkness. What are these things? Are these things of spirit? Are they of self? Are they of men, of women? Are they of humans? Or are they of spirit? Whatever that is. Is spirit of light, or is light spirit? And is spirit sound, vibration, essence, the essence of being. Truth itself.
The question is there light in the truth, or is there truth in the light, and vice versa?
It could be, depending on what you mean by truth. A fact of truth, the wisdom of truth, the opinion of truth, the realization of truth, the audacity of truth, the terror of truth, the horror of truth, the beauty of truth. So truth is a big question. It could be anything. Truth is everything. Everything is truth.
Why do you think people equate the light with goodness and, darkness with evil, or things along these kind of polarities?
Preference. It's a preference. It's words, concepts with relative value. What is absolute? What is true? True. There may not be such a thing. Concepts, opinions, mind forms, expressions. Reality. But it's real. Who is real? What is spirit? What is God? Where are these things? For whom? When? Is Jesus here or there? Is Jesus reality or opinion? Is the Buddha man or thing? Who knows? Why does who know? And then, is it true? for the individual or the true as reality for everyone? Who's the Father? What is the Father? Is the Father not woman? Is the woman not Father? Was somebody like Jesus as a prophet more the mother than the father, or more the father than the mother? Or was he not the mother, after all? Was Jesus the mother of God? Did he propose the idea that he and the Father were one because he was actually the mother? And that which gave birth to the universe? Mother Nature?
Should people follow Jesus or follow who he was following?
You mean the Father? It may be said that Jesus is the Father. It may have been said that he and the Father were one. No difference. So if you follow Jesus, then you're following the Father. But is that true? See? What is the Father that Jesus is following? There's talk of the Father in heaven. Where? In heaven. At what plane? What dimension of reality is the Father? How much greater could the Father be if it is here now? It's always here now. The Father of the universe, the Father of the prophets, the Father of all saints, all great ones, all spiritual beings, the Father of fathers, the Father of spirit, the Father of light. The essence, the power, the glory, the realization, the divine itself. The all of the all. Fullness itself. The immense majesty of itself. Gone beyond description. Poof. Indescribable grace and bliss. Selflessness, complete. No one at all. Isness, the clear light of itself. Love.
Who are we?
We are itself. Itself. For religionists, we can say it's spirit itself. And by spirit is meant the essence of the heart itself. If one can determine the heart. We don't mean the chest. We don't mean the mind. We don't mean the body. We don't mean the person. We don't mean the earth. We don't mean the sun. We don't mean the solar system. Don't mean the galaxy. We don't mean the universe. But we do mean radiant emptiness. Hot fire.
What are we here for?
Awakening. Realizing. Knowing for oneself, not as a self, but knowing for oneself as selflessness. This essence of being anything and everything at once, which is life, nature, destiny. Completion of purpose. As a karmic being in transformation into spiritual being, Not particularly religious being, but spiritual being. A religious being is more about believing. Spiritual is about transcending. Boom.
How does this relate to the eternal?
It is the eternal. It's the never-ending, never-stopping, always being isness of itself, which you have to know for yourself. Not as a self, but as a no-self. That's how you know for yourself. By not having a self. Or not being the self, which we don't have to be the self, see? When we are the no-self. See? Originally, all beings are no-self, originally, and then develop into karmic human selves, for better and for worse, until they awaken beyond self and enter selflessness and become useful to all beings as happy beings who are enlightened beyond the ego consciousness and who bring this peace of bliss to others who are ready to share it, heart to heart.
What is there to get beyond, and how do we get beyond it?
Get beyond ignorance and the suffering ignorance is. You get beyond it by not validating what that is. Without making it so for yourselves. Knowing you are originally spirit, spirituality, which equals light, you don't need to torture yourself into suffering the throes and woes of humankind. Which are a test for others. A test of receptivity to the spiritual in one's midst, here now. Where is it? What is it? See? It's the light that is us. Animates us, lifts us, teaches us, reveals us, realizes us, delivers us, and transcends us altogether.
Yeah, my question is, it's known that a lot of spiritual practitioners and yogis have used fasting to get beyond the body and the different parts of the body, astral body, different feelings, emotions. Would you say that's a requirement in order to get beyond oneself.
Mm. No. No. God is present. Not just now, but now. No. No. Infinitely. That which is never not here is the truth itself. That light is ever present. And in the service of all beings. Fasting is for physical purification. So it is useful as a cleanser. And if you fast long enough, you wind up in heaven because you'll die in the process. Try it. I used to do it all the time. I got so skinny, I wasn't recognizable. But I learned a lesson. It was physically purifying up to a point, and then you need to regenerate and rebuild yourself into a more fullness level of human breathing and being, hearing and seeing, and feeling, knowing, in balance.
But for some individuals, would you say that it's allows them to tap into something deeper? Whereas, if they're just kind of staying on the same plane of habitual eating.
We are already the deeper. Right now you are deeper. It's not somewhere else. Deepness is present. It's here now. The truth of is here now. It's always only here now. Always here now. But there are physical purifications that are very useful to enlighten the physical body. Purify it, but not enlighten it. The enlightenment process is not physical. It's light. It's transcendent. It's present. It's holy. It's empty. Void of self. Thought, word, mind, and body. Yeah. It's part of the enlightenment process. And that refers to the convergence of matter into grace. And grace into love. And love into God itself.
What is the main difference between the material reality that most people are living and the spiritual reality? Is one better than the other?
Depends on where one is in their evolution. In other words, one is not better than the other, it depends on the individual. Some may not be ready for the spiritual, and the only way they can get to the spiritual is to go through the material. And that's the stepping stone to the spiritual. See? Because we're born in the flesh, so we have to start from the gross and go to the subtle. And that's a pattern. That's a mode of being. Yeah. Just as every night you go to sleep, you enter your dream, then you wake up differently in the morning. These are different modalities of consciousness. Unconsciousness, consciousness, superconsciousness, spiritual consciousness, transcendent consciousness, and God consciousness. And each one must go through all of them. And there are many who can't go through all of them because their existence is short-lived. So they might just be able to go through infancy. And then they pass at infancy. Others, yeah. School age. And they pass there. So you have people passing all the stages, depending on their karma, their ancestral ebb and flow. See, the good or not so good karmas of their ancestors. And some believe that everything ill-conceived must be purified. And gone beyond. So that what reigns is light, light everlasting. See?
So it sounds like what you're saying in terms of working
in certain cases, not all cases. Now you can complete what you're going to say.
Yeah, in terms of working off one's blood karma, say if they're coming from more materialist type of karma, then how does that look like for the practice?
No karma is bad karma. Resisting karma could be bad karma. But all the karma is just like steps on the path. That's relative value. We have to experience the high and the low, the hard and the soft, the light and the dark, the good and the evil. We have to experience the whole gamut of it. See? All of it. Not any of it is worse than the other. You have to put your time into, your materials, and if you want to get to the spiritual, then you have to finish up with the material. And some people need to get beyond the spiritual if they want to experience the material. It's the opposite. See? And depending on the circumstances, then the material is neither better or worse than the spiritual, which you have to go through as part of the process, the ebb and flow of experience, night and day. Sleep and waking. Love and hate. This and that. Good and evil. High and low. Spirit and matter. The sun and the planets. The solar system and the universe. One's rises and others fall. One's falls and others rise. So the whole thing is quantum balance. Balance. And then we enter emptiness, the grace of emptiness. And then there's no falling and no rising, and then there's like a meditative peace. And then there is stillness at last. And Jesus, his Father, is recognized for what it is. Who it is. As creator beyond creation. And from the creation of matter, one realizes the creation of bliss and happiness, the star of joy, the end of suffering.
Yeah, so you were just saying that it's different for each individual, what they have to go through, what they have to balance out, and in terms of their karma and their blood karma, what they need to work off, in terms of dealing with the material, in terms of the spiritual.
Everyone is born to die. Everyone dies to be reborn, you see. So it's different, but it's the same thing. It's different because the individuals are at different stages of existence. And it's the same process, differently. So there's no difference, even though we say everyone is different. See? Everyone lives and dies. Everyone lives to die. So it's good. That's the perfection of it. But everyone is different, nevertheless. So, going through their version of the same thing. So no one's exempt. If you're born, you die. That's part of it. If you rise, you fall. I'm not saying it's good or bad, it's just, how it is. And it could be said that everyone creates their own destiny. Unconsciously, because they're born into a line of karma. So, you create it, in a sense, even though you don't do it personally. It's what you inherit. And that's not good or bad, it's just what it is for the individual. And it must be endured, it must be gone through and transcended. You have to let go of it, to be beyond it, to move on to the next station. The next horizon, the next planet, or the next universe. Phew.
Yeah. while we were discussing a few things, I mentioned that if I noticed that I come from more material-minded bloodline, that is it important for me to live in a certain type of poverty for a certain amount of time? Would you advise that for somebody in that case?
Poverty is wealth. Wealth is poverty. You see, it's just time. You're abiding time. You're experiencing time worlds. So it's your destiny to feel more comfortable with one thing or the other. Material is figure of speech. The spiritual is all pervasive. That's the truth. So the material is an appearance. There's only the spiritual. Without the spiritual, nothing could show up as a material. The material is subject to the light of the spiritual. Atomic energy disappears. Enlightenment is that. Poof. Gone. Suffering, gone. And yet people experience suffering. Because it's their round to do it. Because they come from blood karma that is needing suffering. For its purification, for its ascendancy, its entering of the light beyond karma. That's also considered the path of progression. The path of purification. And it's never really that long. It's just time. But that's not who you are. It's what you have to go through because of your blood karma, but not who you are. Who you are is the light. It's up to you to realize that and live accordingly. Good deal. It's a good gig, man.
And you were, we were discussing your run-in with the Karmapa and what that was for, for your, how that changed your world and your reality and what that brought to light, you know.
You mean the shock of it?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm playing jazz with Pharaoh in Manhattan. We're being featured at the Vanguard, and I'm walking down 23rd Street coming from a rehearsal, a jazz rehearsal, and everybody's smoking and, you know, doing what a jazz musician feel they have to do to be jazz musicians, so feel good or whatever. And I'm walking down 7th Avenue around 23rd Street in Manhattan in the afternoon. And there's a woman standing on 23rd Street with oranges in her arms. And I think I had a little bit of marijuana. And I saw the oranges. I said, I need an orange. It's right there. Whoa. And it just so happened that the woman who was out on the street was sent out there by the great saint of Tibet, the 16th Gyalwa, His Holiness, Karmapa, who I never met before, knew nothing about Tibet at all. And he calls me in to this hall. He told the woman, send that one in. The next one. I was the next one. The stone jazz musician coming down the road, hungry for an orange. And the Karmapa was there in the hall with Chogyam Trungpa, the great genius Trungpa, and Dilgo Rinpoche, among others. These are the great lamas of Tibet, the masters of Tibet, all together assembled. And as the word was, the Karmapa picks his own. He creates from his own lamas when he recognizes them. Our friend Tisziji was one of the Karmapa's own. Tisziji had no clue, but learned very quickly when he had to stand before the Karmapa and transcend time completely. Going back through lifetimes of karma with the Karmapa as a Tibetan, within seconds, at the speed of light, I was dizzy. Entering or recovering my lamahood. And the memory of the wisdom teachings of the masters. Tibetan Dharma, Buddha Dharma. And after standing before the Karmapa and being hit on the head by the Karmapa and laughing with him intensely, I turned and saw the other lamas, my brother lamas, and we were all laughing. Crazy it was. From jazz musician to Tibetan lama. The blink of an eye.